Tony D and Little Joan in the background, and this is She Said, a screenwriter's rant on She Said, the movie, Me Too, the movie, in other words. Smash, like, and subscribe. Thank you for smash, liking, and subscribing. Check out my books, links in the description. Comedy Horror in South Jersey. It's the Pineys, books 1 through 9, available at Amazon.com. Don't forget, Kindle Unlimited is free. Inspired by actual events. Yeah. This is about Harvey Weinstein basically being exposed. And I think the only problem with the movie is the New York Times. The New York Times, to me, as an institution, has so beclowned itself over the years, it's hard to take this even seriously in the trailer, because then you think, oh, it's the New York Times. The journalists in the movie are portrayed as noble, young, courageous women. Maybe they were. But judging by the reality of a lot of journalists today, it really taints this entire movie. Because you got Hollywood making a movie about a situation that they ignored for decades. And it's not a documentary. It's based on a book. But it's about... Now, I'm not seeing Rose McGowan in this, which kind of bothers me because it seems to me Rose would be the key person in the Harvey Weinstein thing. I mean, she had the tape, right? She had the tape. So it's about how the brave journalists expose all this, and as they say, a story that helped launch Me Too movement. Shattered decades of silence around the subject of sexual assault. I disagree with that framing too. Nobody wanted this. Nobody wanted this. Nobody prior to this said, oh, yay, sexual assault. I mean, people were against it. Produced by Brad Pitt, Dee Gardner, and Jeremy Kleiner. Written by Rebecca Lenkowitz. Directed by Maria Schrader, starring Carey Mulligan and Zoe Kazan. I mean, look, I think Weinstein was a monster. He was an absolute monster who did all sorts of horrible things. And they're showing some of it. They're showing the journalist being followed. But Weinstein went after Rose McGowan. He used ex-Mossad guys. Those guys don't mess around. Ex-Mossad to not only follow her, but frame her, make her look crazy whenever possible. According to Rose McGowan, whom I believe is pretty credible at this point. I mean, I think she's one of the main reasons he's in prison. And without her, I don't think a lot of this comes to life, because part of the problem they portray in the movie is a lot of women don't want to speak out. They signed non-disclosure agreements. They took money and went away. And, you know, you can't break that without certain conditions, I guess. I don't know. I'm not sure. As a pseudo lawyer, my understanding is if you actually break the law, contracts do not protect law breaking. So if a law has actually been broken, I do not think you have to adhere to that. It's sort of my understanding. I don't know the exact ins and outs of it. But I don't see Rose in this trailer at all. I'm sure she must be mentioned at least. I don't think this woman's playing Rose. I don't think she's in it at all, from what I can see here. I mean, not in the trailer. How can you leave Rose McGowan out of this? I think Uma Thurman's in this. There seems to be an actress who looks like Uma, because I believe Uma, I don't know if she was, I think she was intimidated by Weinstein. I don't know how much further it went beyond that. I'm not remembering. But yeah, look, to be honest, I just don't trust Hollywood to do this. This seems more like a 90-minute commercial for the New York Times than it does what actually happened. You know, I don't. Sorry, my illusion of the noble journalist cracking the stories long been shattered by these people. Long been shattered because of places like Hollywood, because of places like the New York Times. I think you got to show the journalists warts and all, and I don't trust Hollywood to show that. What I trust them to do is to create a one-sided, and you can hear it in the trailer. It's all the system, the system, the system, the cover-up, the system, the system. That's not a warts and all sort of thing. That is, oh no, there's only one good group of people here. Yeah, that's not the way life works. And I'm not saying these journalists aren't brave and good for what they did. Harvey Weinstein, I think, was a monster, and good on them for going after him. But don't portray these women as saints who walk among us. And definitely don't portray the New York Times as some sort of wonderful bastion of truth. F that. What I would like to see is these women succeed despite the New York Times. That's what I would love to see. But I don't trust Hollywood ever to portray that. It should be like The Wire. It should be like, like in The Wire, every cop who's actually doing police work is hindered by all the laziness and careerists around them. And they have to fight tooth and nail to actually fight crime. Right? So it should be like that. It should be like these two journalists actually want to do a story, and at every turn, everybody at the New York Times is like, oh, don't do that. Yeah, stay away from that. No, that's no good. Because that's the way I suspect it really was. And this is probably a rewriting of history. That doesn't mean it's a total lie, but it's a crafted narrative, I feel. So, this follows true events. So the first act is they get wind of sexual harassment in Hollywood like it never happened before. So they decide to do a story about it. Again, that's not the way it is. This stuff has been going on for decades and decades and decades. So, there's a terrible thing happening. And really? Second act, they do the story. They interview women. They don't want to come forward. Then Harvey gets wind of it and starts turning the screws to them. And it's about their fight to get the story printed. And then it does. And then you get the roll at the end. Harvey Weinstein went to jail and blah, 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 blah. But there are many men still out there. Again, it seems to be an indictment of a system from a movie that's part of that system. So, I'm done with these sort of black and white portrayals of this. I'm a grown-up. I want to see it all. Yeah. I want to see the real deal here. I want to see people at the New York Times going, yeah, this will be great for your career. Because that's what they do. I want to see two characters that are real. I want to see some of these people towards the end and their political stuff going too far. I want to see the Me Too movement portrayed the way it really is. Corrupt, I think. And despite all that, they get Harvey anyway. That to me would be a movie. Is that going to happen here? Nah, I'm not seeing it. Now, this is going to be typical, like, courageous journalists save the day. The New York Times. Yeah, I don't need to see a 90-minute commercial for the New York Times. Thank you. Anyhow, that's it for me, Tony D and Little Joe. Check us out on Odysee, Bitchute, and Rumble for our more bass takes. Don't forget, I'll be in Glassboro for the Art Festival tomorrow, 5 to 10, and Clements Farms on Sunday for their Blueberry Festival. Can't beat a Blueberry Festival from 10 to 3. We'll see you tomorrow.